Alrighty, and I love this one. Yes, sir. Texans are signing Pro Bowl running back Philip Lindsay, and I really don't understand why Denver moved off of him. I thought the running back by committee between Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon was absolutely fantastic, especially when you really don't have that kind of true franchise quarterback. You are going to have to kind of rely a little bit more on the running game because we've seen Drew Lock. He doesn't get it done. That's not an understatement or an overstatement or anything like that. He does not get the job done. He doesn't win the games, and he turns over the ball way too much. And he doesn't score until the fourth quarter when the game's over. So those are all the knocks on their guy that they got. So now they're going to have to be looking for a quarterback in the draft, maybe another running back, depending on what they're going to do with Melvin Gordon. But really upset that the Broncos let this man go. But hey, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and this man is a true treasure here, a tough physical runner that you want on your team, and this man can run for the 1,000 yards. So he ends up signing with the Texans now, and the Texans have an absolutely stacked backfield now because they just got Mark Ingram, and now they got Philip Lindsay just in this free agent period, and they still have David Johnson, who's kind of now their premier back. So are the Texans, this is a little interesting that they're stacking their backfield. Are they going to try to run a little bit of an offense what the Ravens are doing a little bit with Lamar Jackson and all those running backs? I mean, the Texans just picked up, a third of that kind of Ravens running back by committee that they've been working with in Mark Ingram. So interesting that we've got all this Deshaun Watson stuff going on. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? We know he's a dual threat quarterback. He could possibly do some of the offense that Lamar Jackson's doing. And if you got these three great running backs right here, David Johnson, Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, David Johnson's kind of your fast. Philip Lindsay's, your beef of running back. And then Mark Ingram, he can do it all. We've seen that with the Saints. We've seen that with the Baltimore Ravens these last couple of seasons. So really kind of shoring up their running game a little bit. Now, does that mean that they're going to run a style of offense like the Ravens for the Texans? Or does that mean, hey, we're not going to have Deshaun Watson, so let's kind of shore up our running game a little bit because we don't know what quarterback we're going to have, so we're going to have to kind of run the ball a little bit more heavy and consistently throughout this entire season? I don't know, man. I don't know, because I think Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston because they are slandering him. They are slandering this man big. So let's go to this story really quickly. I got to skip a couple because we're on the topic, so let's go to it. And now Houston police Twitter, remember all those allegations of the lawyer saying, oh yeah, we've got 6 cases and I don't need this. I don't need the fame or the money. I'm doing this because I truly believe these girls were blah, blah, blah. I mean, and now we get Houston police Twitter, verified Twitter. Quote, this was from yesterday at 6:47 p.m. This is what Houston verified police Twitter said. At this time, Houston Police Department is unaware of any contact between Houston Police Department and Houston attorney Tony Busby. That was the man. We're going to bring up the quote. I'm going to have to go find it really quickly, but I do want to bring up that quote again because now when we get all this information with that quote, it just seems this is nonsense story in that Deshaun Watson is truly being slandered here. So, Houston PD is unaware of any contact between Houston PD and Houston attorney Tony Busby regarding the allegations contained in his recently filed lawsuit, and no incident reports regarding these allegations have been filed in our jurisdiction. Now we go back to the quote. I'm sure I can find it very quickly here. We go back to the quote of the Houston attorney Tony Busby, because the quote was just looking really kind of wild. Like, this is nothing that an actual attorney, an actual professional lawyer should be saying or would ever kind of think about saying. So let me go back to it, try to bring it up really quickly right here. This was the quote from the actual attorney right now that, Houston PD was, kind of referencing in their tweet. This was the quote of Tony Busby. Here it is. Third lawsuit of now 6 to be filed against Deshaun Watson alleging assault. This one the most egregious to date. Again, this is where it gets a little wonky in this quote. Again, I won't share details here, but I have open courts. We have open courts in our Texas Constitution, meaning all lawsuits are public record. Our staff have received numerous calls. We have screened each one, and I personally talk with and screen any individual on whose behalf we file. I've been doing this a long time. This is where it gets crazy. It's right here. I don't need, quote, fame. And to be quite honest, and I say this as modestly as I can, if I never made another penny, I would be quite okay. What are we humble bragging about our financial status when we're talking about 6 women coming forward on sexual assaults? You shouldn't have to be like, hang on, I'm telling you this is real because I don't need money. What kind of lawyer says anything along those lines if this is a real true case? You're not saying, oh, I'm so rich and I'm just kind of doing this for the charity. I mean, these girls, they came to me. I don't need the credit. I don't need the money. Do y'all see how much money I have? Do you think I need more for this stupid case of these women coming forward against Deshaun Watson? No, I believe them because I'm so filthy rich. Why would I be doing this if it wasn't for the information and not the money? Because I don't need the money, although I am charging these people, but I don't need the money. I want the truth to get out. So it was just kind of really wonky. It didn't really kind of sit right with us when we were originally going over this quote. And now that this Houston Police Department Twitter is kind of like, we don't even know what this man's talking about. This man is like literally insane. So, and it's just wild because who's making these claims up? Somebody's got to be like orchestrating these fake claims. And when you look at, Houston, the Texans organization and Deshaun Watson, I mean, Deshaun Watson wants to go, Houston wants to keep him. Is something nefarious going over there in the Houston's organization? Possibly. It's a possibility because, Houston PD is like, yeah, we don't know what these people are talking about. These aren't real claims. The lawyer's like, I'm so rich. The women, I don't even know what they're saying right now. But man, oh man, Deshaun Watson, he's not going to be in Houston next season. I think these are some fake allegations that are being spread about this man. And now this is just going to push him over the edge a little bit. And if this ever gets kind of 100% confirmed, if that's what Houston was doing, trying to like put out some bad stories, some bad press to ruin Deshaun Watson's, trade value or just value overall to keep him. It's just wild. I mean, and this happens, folks. Don't kid yourself that this does not happen just in general in society. Like, let's be real, folks. So, man, oh man, Texans running game is good, but they're not going to have Deshaun Watson next year to kind of, do the Ravens kind of offense with a nice dual threat quarterback with some nice running backs, because they're all Texans are going to have is some nice running backs. So, man, oh man, I think they really beefed it with Deshaun Watson on this one, man. Darn.